good.
What'd you think?
I thought the debate, obviously, it went fast. I thought it went well for us. Now we're down to 19 days to really give a message of, I don't think voters of Iowa wants politics as usual. I don't think they want a political establishment. I think that was true, what you saw on Tuesday. I think it's going to bode very well for our campaign, so brace yourself for a Vander Plaats victory on June 8th.
You talked a lot about taxes. Can you go into that a little bit more right now?
Well, yeah, taxes are a big issue. I mean, if you're going to sell the economy of the state of Iowa, you need a competitive tax structure. That's why I said you want to eliminate the corporate income tax. You want to drastically reduce commercial business industry property tax. And you want to reduce the capital gains tax so you can invest in venture capital so we can be the startup capital of the world.
There's a lot of disagreement between you and Mr. Branstad.
And who?
And Mr. Branstad.
Okay, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about talk about the machinery tax?
Well, I think what it is that when you take a look at, politics as usual is going to try to spin a record one way. And in business and industry, we say confront the brutal facts. And when you confront the brutal facts, he grew government 2.5 times, 120 or 1.2 billion above the adjusted rate of inflation. So when you grow government like that, and you can remove the machinery and equipment tax like you talk about, but if you do nothing to backfill it, that just went right back on to commercial business industry property taxes, which make us in the top 5 in the country.
The state constitution is very clear on how we appoint judges to the Supreme Court. What would you do if the 3 judges that were put to you didn't meet your criteria?
We'd have to wait to see what happens there at that time when I take a look at that. But right now, I'm concerned about the Supreme Court, obviously. I made it obviously a pivotal issue in this campaign. I'm the only candidate for governor, including Culver himself, who's willing to hold a court in check. But I have no idea why somebody wants to be governor of the state of Iowa when you have a judicial branch go outside of their bounds, why you want to hold them in check. Do you want a judiciary to make your law, execute your law? That's a very, very dangerous proposition, not only for us, but for the future generations. That's why I'm going to hold them in check.
But what if all 3 of them simply don't?
We'll deal with that when that happens.
You spent the hour challenging Governor Branstad. Is there anything that you challenge Representative Roberts over?
I think what it is I think, again, if you saw Tuesday and you see what's happening in the state of Iowa, you see the energy and momentum behind our campaign. People don't want political experience. They don't want political establishment. It's one thing to say you've been there for 10 years, but yet you haven't led on getting business industry competitive. You haven't led on reforming education. You haven't led on a lot of things. They want real-life leadership today, and that's why I think our campaign stands a really good shot at winning on June 8th.
What will an average person take away from this debate? Maybe someone that's not a political junkie or even an independent voter if they happen to watch it.
Well, I think they're going to agree with me. They want leadership from the outside of them. Someone who's been in education, who wants to restore prominence in education, not growing a bureaucracy that we've done governor after governor after governor, legislature after legislature after legislature. We're going to put a focus on the classrooms so we stop cutting teachers and we really, again, restore prominence in student achievement. The same way with being a private sector CEO. Shrink the size of government, but the government that we have, we're going to expect excellent results. And then, we're going to open up the state for business.
Is there an issue in this campaign that keeps coming up that you wish didn't?
No, really not. Not for me. Matter of fact, as some of you know, I've done a lot of pizza and politics stuff. I've done pizza ranch tours. I've addressed about every question there is out there, and if it's on a voter's mind, it's a fair question.
What's the strategy for bringing the party together after it's all over?
Chet Culver. I think what people see is with Chet Culver and Barack Obama, they're seeing failed leadership at the highest of levels. And we will have an inspired Republican base. We've won 80% of all the straw polls, river to river, border to border, that these counties are having. Culver knows that when I win this nomination, I will have an inspired Republican base because I'm authentically conservative, both socially and fiscally. I'm also going to attract independents and Democrats because my background in education, healthcare, human services. I've received the head of the NAACP's endorsement. And then Culver knows I do not have a political record that he can attack. And as you noticed in the debate, on March 14 of 2000, Governor Branstad said that is the key to defeating an incumbent, is not having a political record. And I don't have that political record that he can attack. I believe I can go after his record, make his record the issue. And I believe that's how we're successful.
This March event is a he said type thing.
This what?
This March event that you talked about whenever Branstad gave you the advice. Is there any proof to that, or do you have anything that you can offer to?
Well, I didn't think at that time I need to be recording anything. But March 14 of 2000, I recollect it very clear. Because that was a big decision in our life about why would we want to choose to run for governor after never running for public office before. After having dinner at his home and having him lay out the strategy of what it would take to defeat an incumbent governor, he said, number one, he said, your background and record's tailor-made. A background in education, healthcare, human services, business and industry, but also not having the political record that they can go after. Because remember, I was lieutenant governor nominee with Jim Nussle. And Jim Nussle had a political record. And we saw what Chet Culver did to Jim Nussle's political record. Culver and the Democrats are waiting for Branstad to get this nomination so they can really unleash on his record. They're starting to do it already. But I think, again, we're going to be successful on June 8th.
How does this play out in the last 2+ weeks? Does this turn into sort of an air war for a certain amount of time, and how positive can that stay?
Well, I think what it is that for us, it's about getting our vote out. We have great organization in all 99 counties, people who really believe in our candidacy. They're going to go out to vote on June 8th. They're going to get their neighbors and their peers to get out to vote on June 8th. We're very, very comfortable in our organization. We are going to go up on air as well. I'm sure Eric will put out a press release on that tomorrow. But we're looking forward to going up on air as well to basically seal the deal with some of those voters who aren't watching IPTV, they're not reading the Des Moines Register, or some other blog.
And does that focus on some of the issues you hit on today as it relates to
My
a
goal,
record or not a
my
record?
goal as a CEO, Rod, is to say we're going to confront brutal facts. But I want to give Iowans something to vote for, not something to vote against. I want them to go in the voting booth and to pull a lever for Vander Plaats because he can be governor of the state of Iowa and actually provide leadership that this state needs.
So they're positive ads?
What's that?
Is it a positive ad that you'll be
Yeah.
going up
About
on?
that tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.